of Panel to Panel. Today, we're reviewing Captain America, issue 699, by writer Mark Waid and artist Chris Samnee. So, without further ado, let's jump into this thing full geek. Alright, so, it says America 2025. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, after a fairly promising few issues of Mark Waid's Captain America run, we then kind of take a detour. Captain America faced off against this low-level kind of white supremacist group called Rampart. Which, despite the fact that, Captain America has taken on the likes of Hydra, the Red Skull, he's stared down the mad Titan Thanos, all of these sorts of threats, punched Hitler. Despite all that Captain America has been through, this low-level nobody group, Rampart, managed to put the good Captain on ice again. Yes, that's right, they froze Captain America. And Captain America is thawed out years later to find that America has become this dark dystopian nightmare. And then, in what was a surprise to him, he finds that it's only actually been not decades or centuries, but a whopping 7 years later, the year 2025. Oh, Mark Waid. Look out, M. Night Shyamalan. Okay, so it's 2025, and in 7 years, this nobody group has taken over all of America. Sounds realistic, right? Okay. And we find that all of the heroes from Cap's time have been taken out. They're gone. They were destroyed in some sort of nuclear annihilation, a nuclear detonation, with the exception of a couple. The Incredible Hulk, and as we'll find in this issue, also The Thing. Okay, Mark Waid. Mark Waid used to be so good. I mean, he wrote classic runs on the Fantastic Four, The Flash. The man wrote Kingdom Come. And now we're to this lazy writing. Okay, a nuclear disaster took out all the heroes? Really, all of them? I mean, they were all in the blast radius. I mean, no one was outside of it. No one was in outer space at the time. Even those heroes whose powers are nuclear-based, are we still saying that they, too, were taken out in this explosion? Was the Silver Surfer killed in this explosion? Yeah, none of this makes sense. Because if you look at Mark Waid over the last year or so, he's been a social media presence, and he's kind of obsessed with the fact that, yes, Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. So all we're really seeing here is lazy writing in an attempt to set up a scenario so that he can essentially have a mouthpiece to vent about Donald Trump and where he thinks America is going, which apparently within 7 years' time, he thinks it will be this dystopian nightmare. Okay, so anyway, so we have Captain America facing off against the Hulk, and he's like, Hulk, Banner, it's me, we're friends, calm down. He's trying to get through to him. Okay, well, the thing is, at the time that Captain America was frozen, Bruce Banner was dead. yes, I understand that, where Cap comes from, life and death, heroes come back. Cap himself has been involved in those kinds of stories. So it's probably no surprise that, here's Banner alive and well. But nevertheless, he never even mentions it. At no point is he like, "Oh, by the way, Bruce, when I went on ice, you were dead. What happened? How did you come back? What's going on?" Yeah, nothing like that. Just Banner is back. No explanation. He talks about how that only 2 of them were tough enough to withstand the blast radiation. Again, really, all of them but 2. All of them except for the Hulk and the Thing. Silver Surfer's gone, the Human Torch, all these other characters, some of them with the power of flight, super speed, none of them were able to get out of the blast radius except for 2. Well, of course, for this story, for the purpose of this story, Mark Waid just needs all those characters off the board. So, in lazy writing with little explanation, that's exactly what he does. Okay, so we've got Captain America leading this group of commando rebels, whatever you want to call it, who in the previous issue, they were the ones that found him and explained to him what has happened to America. And interestingly, Cap never questions it. He just takes it on these people's word that that's exactly what happened, and he immediately jumps into their cause and all of that. I mean, this doesn't sound like Captain America to me. I mean, Captain America to me is a guy who, he wants to examine all sides of an issue. He doesn't just jump in and start fighting and jumping into a cause without, fully understanding everything that happened. I mean, he was, just defrosted, essentially. Does he have the full picture? Does he understand the whole story here? No, not really. He doesn't. He just sort of takes these, rough and tumble rebels at their word and jumps in. Because here's the guy that they gotta take out. King Babington, or as he's nicknamed in this series, King Baby. And it's quite obvious, it has all the subtlety of a jackhammer that this character is figuratively representative of Donald Trump. And whatever your political leanings, I'm not here to talk about that kind of stuff. It's just that, comic books, yeah, they can get political from time to time, but they're also about escapism. Getting away from the issues and the day-to-day cares of this life. To me, Captain America, he represents universal ideals, universal things that America is sort of synonymous with. To me, Captain America should never be identified as liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, any of that. Captain America is for everyone. He is representative of universal things that all Americans, indeed, all reasonable people could get behind. And, what Mark Waid is doing here is essentially using his position as a writer here to vent about Donald Trump. Or at least that's the way I interpret this story, and I don't think anyone that reads it would see it any other way. Okay, so the next thing we find is the other hero that survived was the Thing. And for the last 7 years, we've got the Thing down pushing some kind of generator, all Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan the Barbarian style, generating power and everything. And So 7 years Ben has been doing this. He says, I have been down here since an hour after the war. It's where the government said I was needed. Mark Waid, you know better. Ben Grimm is not dumb. You wrote one of the best Fantastic Four runs that I have ever read in my life. You know that Benjamin J. Grimm is smarter than this. He does not just take some government official or whoever's word, go down into the dark, and push some generator for 7 years without wondering, hey, is there something going on here? Is there maybe more to the story here I'm not seeing? But no. Ben is dumb. Ben is being used. Ben is being manipulated. Ben is not smart enough to see through the facade. And, of course, it's Cap that has to come in and tell him that he's being used. And Ben's all like, oh, I'll make them pay. And Cap says, Ben, I know you want revenge. God knows you're entitled. Is he? Is he entitled to revenge? The government didn't force him down here. He was lied to. And understandably, Ben is upset. But is revenge really what Captain America is all about? Does Cap feel anyone is entitled to revenge? I can understand, if Cap wants to bring back law and order, he wants to restore the Constitution and all of its rights, and the Bill of Rights, those American ideals. I can totally understand Captain America getting behind wanting to bring those things back. But saying that anyone is entitled to revenge, I don't know if that sounds very Captain America-like. So, go on. Yeah, they fight. And they take on Babington. And Cap gets mind-zapped. But Cap's force of will is too much. Babington, our Trump stand-in here, goes on about his antiquated sense of patriotism, can't defend him. But we see that once again, Captain America is too strong, and he overcomes. That's what Captain America does. He overthrows the tyrant. He overthrows the dictator, and everyone is happy. They're all chanting "Cap, Cap, Cap," and and he looks at this girl that's been helping him out here, like, hey, you should lead now, that kind of thing. Okay, she's some scrappy kid, whatever, but lead, and one of the few things that makes sense here, she says, "You're kidding, right?" The leader we need is you, Cap, and even Cap should be smart enough to realize that. I mean, the only person here that is really qualified to restart America is him. It's Steve Rogers. It's Captain America, and I think we all understand that. So anyway, yeah, not a great story. Mark Waid is better than this. Mark Waid has been better than this. I think Captain America deserves better than just being some propaganda piece. I mean, I know he has been used that way in the past, go back to the 1940s or whatever, but, should he continue to be used that way today?